Hey guys, PrinceofMacedon here. Gonna do a commentary video for Total War Rome 2 in my cinematic style of editing. This will be a Macedon versus Rome battle. I'll be commanding my beloved Macedonians. My opponent's name is Ditto, commanding the Roman force. We're gonna fight this battle somewhere in the Adummatu desert map, and you can see my opponent has quite a large army. It's about 19 card slots there. And he has more melee infantry. He has 14 melee infantry. I have 12 melee infantry. He has a skirmish force. I do not have any skirmish force. What I do have superior cav. I have 2 Aspis companions. He only has his general and bodyguard unit and an equite. On the tactical overhead, I am yellow and he is red. You can see I split up my force. This is my infantry force right here. You see I'm creeping along, and over on the other side, on the very extreme left, I've got my Aspis companions, and I'm going to keep them hidden right here. I'm using these dunes to keep these cav troops hidden. I'm not going to activate them until I get a decisive opening with them, or until I need rescuing. So, cav to the rescue is the mission statement here. And here's my opponent's army, Ditto. And we're going to look at his troop composition first before we look at mine. He's going to stay still for the moment. So he does have his general and bodyguard unit. And he's got a unit of equites. Then he has 2 units of auxiliary Balearic slingers, and 1 unit of these levies. Then he's got this pretty mean-looking force of evocati cohorts. He has 6 of them. Pretty intimidating. And then he's got 4 units of hastati. One of them has 1 experience upgrade. And finally 4 units of legionaries. So yeah, that's 14 sword units going up against my infantry force. He has a way better infantry force than myself. So now we're going to look at my troop composition here. And I'm moving my infantry up, and I'm leaving my Aspis kind of tucked away back there. And as he moves a little bit, I'm going to advance my Aspis companions to the next dune. See, I'm using that dune just to mask my movements. So I'm going to go right there behind that dune. I'm not going to go exactly that way. I'm going to go more to the left of that dune, but you get the general gist. So yeah, I got these 2 units of Aspis companions, and they will be hidden for now. But getting closer to his army, and we'll look at the rest of my troops here. I got my general. He's a Whirl Peltus. I got 1 of those units. I get 2 units of foot companions. I barely get to use those, but they're expensive. I get 4 units of pikemen, and then finally I got 5 units of Thurio spears. So I said I wasn't going to use pikes, but I'm still going to use them occasionally. They're just really hard to use effectively. So as I come forward, my opponent moves backwards. So he's going to catch wind of me advancing, and he's going to kite away. Slightly, anyways. And right now I've got my Thurio spears in the front of my army. Got my general in the back. I don't want to be targeted by his slingers. Painful lesson in the last battle, where my general just got butchered before I even got to his main lines. So I'm going to stretch out my Thurio spear line. I want to match his front, as you can see. I'm going to thin out the lines of all my infantry. And what I want to do with my Thurio spears is move forward and absorb my opponent's pila. Because all of those Roman units will carry little javelins on them. So I'm going to let my Thurio spears exchange javelins with them. Then my opponent is going to kind of reposition his, or adjust his lines. And in the very back you can still see my 2 Macedonian flags, so they're my Aspis companions. So of course I'm going to advance slowly at my opponent. But I want to keep my lines adjusted. Like I definitely want to prevent him from outflanking my less numerous infantry. So that's why I'm being kind of methodical in my advance here. And there's some movement from his levies and his hastati. And right now I'm mindful of what his slingers are doing. Because I don't want to... When I get closer, I want to come in at a sprint, so I can minimize the effects of his 2 Balearic slingers. And again, there's a shot of my Aspis. Just kind of hidden right there. All is quiet in the deserts of Adummatu. And though there is slingers, I don't want to give them too much validation by letting them fire at my guys. So as he starts to adjust again, that's when I start to move forward. Because as the slingers move, they're not gonna be able to fire. But he doesn't move that much, unfortunately. But I am. I'm gonna keep coming. And yeah, I'm gonna let my Thurios absorb his missile fire. So that's when I change directions again, and that I start to come forward. And now I start to get in range of his slingers. Now I'm getting shot by him. But he makes a mistake here. He starts to run backwards. I think it's a mistake, but I think he should have let his slingers get more shots than that. Because as he's running backwards, he's not shooting. So I got my pike force trailing behind my Thurio spear line, and my general's in the very back, as you can see. So I'm going to get within javelin range for my Thurio spears. And that's when his levies and slingers get another volley off. So now I'm in range with my javelin, so I'll be content to stop right here. And he makes another mistake here. He goes into Testudo. That's a mistake because when his guys are in Testudo, that means they can't launch their pila, which is a Roman specialty. So I stop right here. And as my guys are tossing their javelins, I'm letting my pike force, as you can see in the back, my pike force is running forward here. I'm gonna run them forward and charge into his legionary line there. See, they're not launching pila at me, which is another one of my fears. So he realizes the mistake too late, and he takes the guys out of Testudo, but it's too late now. So they might get one volley off right here, as you can see. And that's all they're gonna get. I'm gonna advance forward with my my pike force. Take advantage of the fact that he wasted his pila. He wasted his opportunity to throw this pila, I mean. So on the flanks, he's gonna outflank me. Most of his flanking move is gonna come on my left flank. See that? Huge flanking attack. He's got his general, his equites. He's got these legionaries cutting into the backs of my foot companions. I will send a unit of Thurio spears to charge into them, though. And use another Thurio spear to stop the other legionaries from coming in. But look in the back, my Aspis companions are coming out of hiding off the hill. So here comes his equites and general. They're going to charge into the exposed line of my my foot companions. But when I countercharge his legionaries outflanking me, that left a gap in my line. So he charges into my foot companions. So while he's doing that, I'm doing my own thing. I saw his charge coming from a mile away. I don't think he saw my Aspis companions coming, though, because they were hidden the entire time. So, for about 2 minutes, we're gonna look at what my Aspis companions do to his back line. So we're gonna charge. Well, I'm gonna charge into his Valeric slingers, and he's gonna rush his troops backwards to respond to it. So his legionaries are cutting through my back line, but they're bogged down, though. They're not gonna cut through my guys immediately. My guys can, they got some staying power. But you see what my Aspis are doing? Charging into his auxiliaries and his levies. And he's sending his equites out. And any kind of unit he can to respond to my cav charges. There's a blinking unit, that's his levies, I believe. So he's charging in with his equites, see that? He gives up the pursuit, but if he keeps chasing, I'm going to turn back and just kill him. His general's back there now. They charge to my foot companions. Look at all those blinking Roman units now. They are not lasting too long. A lot of that was due to my pike force getting the frontal charge on his legionary line too. But a lot of that's also due to my Aspis just wreaking havoc in his back lines. So he's chasing after my Aspis. My guys are too fast though. So look at that rupture in his lines. The balance bar still doesn't like me though, but I'm going to go for his general. I want to just assassinate this general. But that center belongs to Macedon, and now his general's dead. So he still rules on the flanks, but I rule in the middle, and I also rule in morale, and I also rule with my cav. So his society is trying to chase down my Aspis. I'm just going to pull back though. I'm going to pull back and this cycle charge, and my center is now free, so I can reposition my my phalanx force now in the center. As I said, he is ruling on the flanks. And I'm using my cav to launch cycle charges. But this is where he's destroying my dudes. He's got these 2 units. He's got Hastati and some legionaries destroying my Thurio spears. But while that's happening, my cav is launching these cycle charges. That is, they charge in, run out, and charge back in. So look at that center. It's just totally belonging to Macedon. And the balance bar finally favors me now. But he's ruling on the on that flank on the left there. But I got some pike units to contain that Roman flood of units. Plus I'm using my cav to launch cycle charges. But over on this flank, I'm starting to rule on this side. See that? I'm just ganging up on these units over here. This is the action on the right flank. Or it's actually my left flank, but it's, yeah. So that unit's starting to fold. So when I bust down that unit, I'm gonna peel back my general unit, that's my Royal Peltis. I'm going to outflank that unit of legionaries, and I'm gonna send the rest of these victorious Macedonian troops to the other side. The other side is actually my right flank. This is actually the action on the left flank. But from this angle, it looks like the right. So my Royal Peltis is going to outflank that unit, and all my other pike units are going to the other side. And if you look in the very back, you can see my cav just launching cycle charges. They're charging in, charging back out. So they did a good job of holding back that Roman advantage on the other side. But I definitely have this battle under control now. So that's these cycle charges starting to pay off. Cycle charges becoming hammer and anvil strikes. There's a close-up of my Aspis. Kicking some Aspis. And there his units go. So I definitely think my opponent had the army edge. His army composition was way better than mine. But he let me get the drop on him in this fight. And he didn't really take advantage of his numbers too well. But good game to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle. And it was good to see sometimes, when everything in your plans go right. That doesn't happen too often. But in this particular battle, everything did go according to plan. I stopped his flanking movements, and I was able to get the surprise with my Aspis. Anyways, good game. Hope you guys enjoyed the cinematic battle using Macedon versus the Romans.